So a Republican by the name of Mike Flood did a town hall in Lincoln, Nebraska. And, look, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, he warned all the Republicans, like, hey, dog, I'm just saying, you're going to get fucking reamed if you do these town halls. And he basically told them, like, don't do any of them. You're going to regret it. People are going to show up. They're going to destroy you. They're going to expose you and our agenda for the fucking plutocrat billionaire agenda that it is. So just don't do it. Don't do it. And a lot of them were like, good advice, we're not doing it. But other ones, perhaps the more naive ones, are like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'll be able to sell this shit. I'll be able to say Trump's a good president and we're doing good things and everybody should be happy. And the reality of the situation, that didn't sound like a fart. That sounded more like an elephant. But that was supposed to be a mouth fart noise. There you go. That's what ends up happening. So this guy got absolutely obliterated to the high heavens by his own constituents. So I got a whole bunch of clips. Let's start with this one here. This is amazing. This is a very, very furious woman who's been paying attention and calls out what she's seeing right to this guy's face.
My question is fiscal. With $450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and $600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people, how much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
Cook, dog, cook. Look at his face. Look at his face. My favorite part is that the whole audience is like, yeah. And he's like, what did I get myself into, dog? He's trying to do this, like, you know that meme of Homer Simpson slowly backing up into the bushes? He's trying to do that shit right off the stage. Like, I will answer your question. I will be right back. Unfucking believable, dog. Holy shit. Now, by the way, I don't know why more people aren't talking about this, but she points out 450 million FEMA dollars. 450 million for Alligator Auschwitz. Okay? Guys, Alligator Auschwitz is literally like a couple big-ass tents in the middle of a jungle. I'm not even kidding. Like, they didn't have to do any fucking, and any major building. They didn't need to use all different sorts of materials. It's literally just a couple tents they threw up in the fucking jungle, right? They got, we had people who went there who said the AC was barely working in that bitch. It was 81 degrees in there. It floods every time. There could just be a tiny rain shower, and that shit is going to flood. It's going to flood right in front of everybody's face. And so, $450 million to put a couple tents up in a jungle. You expect us to believe that everything's on the up and up? No. What happened here is obvious. Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, they got their political cronies. They said, we'll steal $450 million from FEMA, and you can pocket $390 million of that shit. Because, truth be told, I don't even know. This thing, I'm not an expert in it, but they probably could have done everything they did for fucking $10 million, right? And we're talking $450 million? No, they're just robbing FEMA. And this is what Trump does. Remember, he came out and said, we're going to get rid of FEMA, we're going to abolish FEMA, we're going to send it to the states. That's what we're going to do. Meanwhile, when he ran, he was bashing Joe Biden for not funding FEMA enough, for not helping people out enough with FEMA. Then he gets in there, he goes, we're going to get rid of FEMA, we're going to abolish it. But in reality, they are just pocketing, they're looting FEMA. They're pocketing all that money, sending it to their fucking donors, right? And making these makeshift fucking concentration camps in the middle of the Everglades. I mean, it is a sick, disgusting joke. And she's right. That shit is fascism. It's fascism. And this is what, like, the other thing, too, is look at how he fucking crumbles when presented with the real truth and somebody willing to be aggressive about it. Republicans are fucking paper tigers, man. They can't argue their way out of a fucking paper bag. If they have a competent opponent who can lay it out, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? They're wrong. There's nothing they can say. There's nothing they can do. They could bullshit, but then you think that woman's going to take it if he bullshits? Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. All right, we're just getting started, though. We got another one for you right here.
It talks about two big changes to the Medicaid program. One of those changes is that if you are able to work and you are able-bodied, you have to work. If you choose not to work, you do not get free health care. You do not get free health care. Okay. So here's a question. Do you think that people who are 28 years old that can work and refuse to work should get free health care? I don't think that a majority of Nebraskans agree with you.
So stop and think about this. This disgusting motherfucker just voted to kick 17 million people off Medicaid, including disabled people, low-income people, disabled people. And then he lies and smears them and strawmans and pretends all we're doing is kicking off the able-bodied young people who don't want to work. That's not a thing. All right, let's stop fucking pretending here. That the only people who fall into the category of I choose not to work, I don't want to work, are rich, spoiled brat kids, the kids of billionaires, the fail sons and fail daughters who have the option to lay on the fucking couch all day and eat potato chips because their dad just made fucking $1 million in a month. Okay? Those are the only people in the country. Everybody else has to work. Everybody's trying their best at all times. Hey, I got to do this thing. I got to do that thing. I got to pay the bills. I got to take care of the kids. I got to make sure the lights stay on. I got to put some food on the table. Everybody is trying their best. But his position is fundamentally anti-human. It's fun because as that audience correctly points out, even if there is a hypothetical 28-year-old who's able-bodied who, for whatever reason at that moment doesn't want to work, they're figuring out things in their life, they're figuring out what field they want to get into, they're a little confused, they need a little bit of time to get everything straight in their mind. Your reaction to that is, oh, well, if that person ends up getting cancer, fuck them. They should go bankrupt or die. That's your reaction? And you think you're on the team? You think you deserve to be an American? You think that's the mindset that makes us great? Is everybody's on your own. Go fuck yourself if you get sick. Let's have medical bankruptcies. Let's have people die because they can't afford the care. This is where this ideology leads, and this is why we are where we are right now. Like I said, they just kicked 17 million people off of Medicaid. 17 million people. That's a fucking death sentence for so many people. Like, what are we talking about here? The bottom line is this. In a civilized society, certain things are taken off the table, right? One of those things is healthcare. In the same way that right now, if somebody mugs your grandma and you call the cops, you expect in a civilized society, the cop will show up, arrest the guy, make sure your grandma's okay, your grandma will go to the hospital, etc., right? But if the cop didn't come, or if the cop was like, hey, I helped you out, now you owe me $2,300, what would your reaction be? You'd be like, what is this scam? What are we talking about? Do we live in a civilized society or do we not? If your house burns down, you expect the fire department to show up and put that bitch out. No questions asked. You don't expect them to say, here's your bill, it's $17,000. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Civilized people in a civilized society have certain things that are taken care of. Roof over your head, some food in your stomach, make sure we have roads, make sure we have bridges, make sure we have clean water, make sure we have a fire department, make sure we have the police. And every other developed country has decided if you get sick, you get help. No questions asked. You're not going to go bankrupt. You're not going to be denied care. If you get sick, you get help. That's the end of it. But this disgusting, barbaric, savage son of a bitch wants to make sure we get stuck in like the fucking 1500s and say, you're on your own. You're on your own. And of course, he smears the people who they just stole healthcare from and just pretends like they're all able-bodied people who don't want to work. They're just lazy. These are the people who bragged about how we won young men in the last election. We won the demographic of young men. Trump picked up a lot of people among young men. Then the second they get into office, the first thing they do is, hey, young men, go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. Go bankrupt and die because you needed health care and you can't afford it. Go fuck yourself. I mean, it's a sick joke. They hate you. These people hate you. They hate you. This isn't subtle. This isn't up in the air to interpretation or debate or disagreement. This man hates you. That's what he does. All right, we're not done. Let's keep going here.
A lot's been talked about Medicaid, healthcare, etc. A lot of countries in the world, Europe, Canada, they have healthcare for the people there. outside, just now you said, you don't want to see a lazy 28-year-old get health care, whatever. My point is, every working and retired American should be entitled to health care. Would you sign on or write up a bill for Medicare for all? We've got Medicare now. We can start rolling back the age 5, 10 years at a time. Would you support that?
We can't afford that.
Yes, you can.
Oh. Medicare for all, I'm not kidding when I say this, and they've done detailed studies on this, would literally save trillions of dollars over a decade. Trillions of dollars. With a T. With a T. Why? Because you cut out the unnecessary, rapacious, mafia-like, for-profit middleman that adds no value. So an insurer gets in between you and your doctor and just takes their cut. What good are they? What good are they? Why do you need a middleman between you and your doctor? There shouldn't be a middleman. And by the way, they tell you, oh, that doctor's in network, but this doctor's out of network. You can't go to that doctor. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? What kind of a system is this? This is preposterous. Sorry, you can't get healthcare covered because you were on vacation when you needed to go to the hospital, and that's not in network. This is a system anybody's going to fucking defend? We can't afford it. No, we can't afford what we're doing now. We can't afford to continue with this private bullshit system. We need to abolish private health insurance companies. We need single-payer Medicare for all. The government is the single insurer. Instead of all of our fucking money going to the Pentagon, a fucking $1 trillion going to the Pentagon. By the way, they can't account for over 60% of that money, right? Instead of sending our money, $38 billion to fucking Elon Musk for his shitty companies, billions of dollars to Israel, $298 billion to Israel. Instead of all that, instead of giving money to ExxonMobil and corporate subsidies and all this bullshit, we should get health care. This is just a lie. Oh, we can't afford it. It's a lie. It saves money to do Medicare for all. It saves money. You've been gaslit from the very beginning. From the very beginning, they've been lying to you in this country.
Do you support that?
We can't afford that.
Yes, you can.
We protected Medicaid as the safety net for those who cannot care for themselves, who are vulnerable, for those who are able-bodied and working. I will tell you this, and I cannot take any credit for it. President Trump is going to bring down prescription prices because the countries you mentioned have been paying way too little for way too long.
This is a lie. This is a total lie. He is not going to cut pharmaceutical prices. In fact, it's the opposite. He just announced we're going to start with a small tariff and then raise it over time on pharmaceutical medicine, which means the price is going to go up. The price is going to go up. He did some bullshit executive order saying we're going to cut it by 100%, 200%, 1,400%, a zillion percent is what we're going to cut it by. That hasn't happened. That's not going to happen. That executive order does not have force of law anyway. And now he's saying we're going to tariff them, which will make the prices go up. Hear me now, quote me later. He also scrapped what we had with the Inflation Reduction Act, where Biden and the Democrats at least got the price of some drugs lowered, like insulin, for example. And insulin, it's super important that they got the price of that down. They're going to roll all that back. Of course. They're going to roll all that back. So this is a lie. And notice how he framed it, too. He said, oh, we're going to lower your drug prices, but we're going to raise them on all the fucking freeloaders around the world. What he's talking about is functional countries with functional governments that actually give a shit about their populations, that negotiated for reasonable drug prices so their people don't go fucking bankrupt because they need to take some heart meds. That's what he's talking about. And he's calling them freeloaders. He's saying they're bad. He's saying that's evil. He's saying that's not right. No, the reality is, who are the villains here? The villains are the fucking billionaires and the greedy ass pharma corporations who make tens of billions, just insane profit margins with billions and billions of dollars all the fucking time. And here he is, berating and castigating functioning governments that actually make sure their people don't go bankrupt because they need medicine. Oh my God, this guy's disgusting. The Republicans are just disgusting. Get it through. Like this guy's a fucking pig. He's not trying to make the world a better place. He's not. He's a fucking smirk in a suit and a walking fucking representative of corporate America.
We've been subsidizing them. And if we as a country I want to pay the same price for the drugs that are in London as they are in Lincoln. And that has not happened for a long time. We've been subsidizing these foreign governments and our socialized health care. This will get solved by President Trump. It will mark the biggest change in healthcare spending in 50 years. And I'm confident that's where we're going.
You know, all you would actually have to do is pass a bill that we are now going to negotiate with Big Pharma. That's it. And he wouldn't do that. He's not in favor of that. He wouldn't do that. because he's actually also bought by Big Pharma, and he's just flat out lying about Trump getting this thing solved. He's not going to get it solved. Not even close. He's doing the opposite. The prices are going to go up. They're going to go up. Okay. More. Now the crowd starts chanting, tax the rich, Adam.
Given your full-throated support of the bill, whatever we call it, and your view of the facts, I'd like to know how you expect to pay back all of this debt that is going to be layered onto our grandchildren because we're not willing to make our rich part of our society pay their fair share.
So what's interesting about that, and I think it's a fair question, two things are happening here. People in here are upset with me that I voted to cut $2 trillion in spending from the budget.
You added $4 trillion to the debt and deficit. Shut the fuck up. The thing that's so disgusting about Republicans is that it's not just that he's misinformed. It's that he's lying and he knows he's lying. That's what I can't stomach. I can't stomach somebody who's immensely dishonest. They know they're dishonest and they plow ahead anyway. Because that's a bad person. That's a bad person. That's somebody who needs fucking serious psychological work. They need rehab. They need to get away from society for quite a while and rethink everything about their life decisions. This is a disgusting human being that you're looking at right here. That's who this is. That's who this is. So that's why the crowd was chanting tax the rich in them. Yeah. I mean, the idea, first of all, they're massively increasing the debt and the deficit. But second of all, even if they were trying to balance the budget, of course they want to do it on the backs of working class people. They want to cut Medicare, they want to cut Medicaid, they want to cut Social Security. They have done those things. 50% of the Social Security offices were cut by Doge and Elon Musk. 50%. Completely illegal. Medicare is also cut in the big bullshit bill because it triggers a sequester, which means automatic cuts across Medicare. And of course, Medicaid was functionally destroyed. Now, they put it off a couple of years, knowing that, hey, this will be a catastrophe for us electorally, but that's what they did. It's going to hit at some point. So anyway, this asshole got a dose of reality, and every Republican needs to get this same fucking dose of reality. And they can whine, and they can cry, and they can bitch, and they can moan. Soros sent people. No, these are Americans who are fucking furious, and they see what's happening in this country. They see the fucking concentration camps. They see the illegal bombing campaigns. They see the inflation, which is skyrocketing right in front of our eyes. They see unemployment going up. They see all this shit. And you can't hide the truth from them. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.